So, Mark, did you see the Vegas showgirls on the road in California giving out gas because it's just too expensive to drive here?
Yeah, why would you give it out in California? Why wouldn't you give it to California people that are in Vegas that already made the trip, though?
Because we need more. We need more of them to come. And who doesn't want to see one of the cool Vegas showgirls on location?
Yeah, but anybody that's waiting in line for a $100 gift card ain't coming to Vegas.
Oh, God. Yeah. So, Mark, some breaking news for this Monday. It's hot in Las Vegas. We hit 100 degrees, and we're breaking records here again.
How hot did it get when you were out in Primm, though? That's what we need to know.
It was only about 90 that day. I got a little bit lucky, but yeah, you got to go out early in the morning. That's the key.
Yeah, I mean, 104 this early in the year is crazy. I'm not. I'm glad I got out of there before it really peaked. I think the week we were there, it was really perfect. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, mid high 70s. That's kind of what you're hoping for. And maybe mid May, you're hoping for like 80, 85. You're not expecting 104.
No, I mean, this is the record. So if we hit 104 today, we will officially break the record for today. But yeah, the days of the nice weather are over. We're heading into the summer. But let's talk Primm for a second. On Friday, we had our Primm tour video. Of course, it was announced that it's closing. And that's why you're here today to help me cover the news, because Friday I did that vlog. But yeah, Primm is closing forever.
It's sad and it's kind of random. Like, we knew that they were in trouble, but we weren't expecting them to just do a mass closure. And it seems like everything in the town, or at least the gas stations, the lotto store, is closing down too, which I have to assume somebody's going to want to reopen that because it does well and has good business there. But you didn't expect kind of them to just be like, hey, by the way, July 4th, which is such a weird date. Can we talk about how do you pick July 4th, 250th year of the United States, and you can't close on the 5th? And then the worst part is everybody has to move out of their housing on the 6th, which if you're losing your job and then you're losing your house, they could have let them stay for another month or so. I don't think that it needed to be so fast right there.
These are casinos that mean a lot to a lot of people. You would think, hey, they're in the middle of nowhere, 40 miles from Las Vegas, but 16 million people drive that highway every year. These were roadside Americana from the past, the biggest roller coaster in the world, the spectacle. We've been covering the struggles for years here on MTM Vegas. Go check out the vlog. You can see what it looks like now. The mall is basically shuttered. Very little left, very sad, but an incredible history out there. You know, on some level, I'm grateful to be able to document it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you got this, that they gave us a heads up. It wasn't just like a fly by night. Hey, by the way, we closed last night, which we've seen other places and at other times for businesses. So at least they do give somewhat of a warning. I wish they would have had like a really big blowout party and let it run until the 5th or 6th so people could go experience that if they wanted to. Maybe you had somebody come shoot off some fireworks, all those types of things. I think that would have been a good send off for it, but it is sad to see. I love Buffalo Bills when we went out there. Just kind of a throwback place, what everybody is clamoring for in Vegas, and it was just a little bit too far for a lot of tourists to go see it, unfortunately. But it's kind of the death of roadside Americana, of the road trip. We were kind of the last generation that got to experience that. Anybody our age or older, that's what they grew up on. And it's sad that we're losing that and our kids didn't get to experience it. And one by one, they're closing up.
And one last sad part of all of this is Buffalo Bills. They did have, I think, 2 more concert dates on the schedule. So it was expected that they would reopen, but those concerts have now been canceled, and Buffalo Bills will never reopen. We'll never get to go in there one last time. Primm Valley is there. Go check it out. Go see the history. Go see my video. Support it. Thank you guys so much for that. But yeah, I love this place, and I am very sad to see it go.
I am too. And with it, death of Primm for Trim.
Now, something else a lot of people love is buffets. Man, this is depressing because Vital Vegas has this rumor, and I should say it's a rumor, but he says, gird your stretchy pants. A high-ranking MGM Resorts executive says the buffets at all of their Las Vegas resorts will be closed by Q2 27, Wicked Spoon being the last to close. This is a reminder that the MGM Grand Buffet has already been announced that it is closing. The Bellagio Buffet is still open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and then all day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on the weekends. And then Wicked Spoon and Excalibur are both to 2 p.m.-ish. Oh, actually, Excalibur opens at 7 a.m., and it made me wonder, like, do the people at Excalibur, they get up earlier, I guess, for that cheaper buffet?
I mean, this is another Vegas was the land of buffets for so long, and it was a favorite part of it for people. And it used to be a loss leader to bring people in the casino. They don't really need that anymore. But you would think that the high end buffets and stuff like that, or at least just keep it open for dinner where you can charge a premium, they would make some money. But with all these closures, they must have realized when they replace them or whatever they put into there is making them more money versus keeping a buffet going, or maybe the buffet is just costing them so much that it's not worth it. But whoever keeps one open in Vegas and kind of holds on, I think will be really popular.
Yeah, I don't. This is weird. You would have thought all these years in that we would have caught on that they're missing. People say they're missing them. I think the economics have become even harder. They were hard 6 years ago, and they've become even tougher now. And I don't know. I mean, Bellagio can't make it work. I believe Wynn's buffet is doing pretty well. Bacchanal, every time I walk by there, is packed. Neither one is cheap, but Bellagio you would think would be able to make it. Wicked Spoon, so famous, but they're not even able to do dinner. And Excalibur, I'm not surprised. Circus has been doing well with their buffet. And as you point out on the lower end, I'm not surprised that that's held on. These are giant spaces too. MGM Grand Buffet, an opening day buffet. Excalibur's buffet, an opening day buffet. MGM already has things like over at Mandalay Bay and Luxor. They're not using their spaces. Like, what are we doing here? Are you going to replace it with something better? I don't know. Hopefully this isn't true.
You know whose fault this is, right?
Wayne Newton.
No, that jerk that bought like 87 lobsters or took 87 lobsters and threw them in the trash. It's his fault.
Hey, you haven't been triggered by that guy in at least a year. So let's move on to another follow-up, Vanderpump Hotel. The logo, we talked all about what it looked like. We've talked about the chandeliers, but Cinnamon Girl did post this picture of what the crest looks like on the side of the building, finished, in its finished form. I still don't love it.
I mean, I'm just here for the comments of people saying they're tired of hearing about Vanderpump Hotel.
But every little detail.
No, what we really need to do is get Cinnamon Girl on the record. She was at Four Queens. She used the high-tech showers, and she had quite the interesting review.
Yes, for sure, but we'll let her tell her own story. Thanks to her for tagging us in that, and we will keep this Vanderpump coverage nice and concise for today. In a second, we'll talk about Lotus of Siam reopening, another story people probably say we talk about too much. But before we do that, I'd love to invite you to subscribe. Thousands of you are watching that are not subscribed. Just hit the button. Thanks to in advance. So let's talk Lotus of Siam. Mark, a few months ago, I talked about their location on Flamingo, eating there. I really like their food. It's so funny when you talk about food. I don't consider myself a food expert. Been to Thailand many times, eaten a lot of Thai food though. And I just love when I talked about them the last time. People told me it wasn't real Thai food.
Yeah. Well, everything has changed for wherever the place is. So if you're looking for Mexican food, a lot of times it's going to be kind of with an American tilt, or same with like Chinese food, all of it. I don't know. It's just crazy that this has been 9 years to reopen. That's insane.
Yeah, I think they had flood damage or, something along those lines. The original location's in Commercial Center, which is on East Sahara. That's that legendary shopping center I love to talk about, with everything from the Green Door to cowboy bars to salsa bars to everything. And John Curtis was over there. I think it's interesting to highlight this location because this really did start as a mom and pop restaurant in a strip mall. And because of the tourism to Las Vegas, it got its own reputation. People started coming, and now it's sort of larger than life. People accuse the food of being overrated. I think it's pretty good. And this original location, it's so nice to see it back, as you say, after 9 years.
Are you saying Lotus of Siam is like the reason that strip malls became big in Vegas?
Absolutely. They invented the entire phenomenon. But let's talk about something that's totally awesome, Mark, and that would be the totally awesome bar and arcade at MGM Grand. This quietly opened this last week, and I hadn't heard a lot about it until this last week. Chris Holmes was over there. I saw a few other people talk about it. The really neat thing is they have all these arcade games, and unlike many other bars, they're all included if you buy food or drink there. In Chris's case, he got the Elysian Space Dust. I think it was $11, which, a beer in Las Vegas will cost $11. Then you get to play all the games.
Yeah, but Space Dusts are always kind of expensive because IPA a little bit stronger. They're usually the more expensive beer in the bar wherever you're at. And I've seen that this type of setup before, but it's usually like a small town, and come in, buy a drink, and they all have like the 80s or 90s type of coin games that you're used to from growing up. It's not the most modern or high tech games, but it seems like all arcades are focused on tickets these days, which kind of stinks. So I love these throwback type bars, retro gaming. They even have N64 set up. Nothing tops a Mario Kart battle with a 4-way split screen to throw you back in there. So I love this. I think this is awesome. I hope it does really well. And the fact that you just buy a drink, go in there and have some fun. Good way to burn some time in Vegas before you go out for the night, or if you just need a break from gambling and you want to do something else fun with your friends. Oh, yeah, go support this place. It's such a cool idea.
And a deal, like something that you value, right? You don't expect to have
Yeah,
you're
especially at
paying the
MGM.
same. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just nothing that makes any sense about this at all. They also have every Monday and Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m., they're going to have an all-in open bar experience. So you get the open bar experience, all the games for $45, which is not a crazy price at all. 9 to 11 Mondays and Thursdays. But yes, very happy to support this place. We need more of this. You're almost like looking like, what's the catch here? Because it's just almost too good to be true. Even though, like you say, this concept isn't original, but it's original for being on the MGM Grand on the Las Vegas Strip.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it really unique. And for $45, that's, if my math is right, that's only 4 space dust. You might need a wheelbarrow to get someone out after that, but that's a pretty good deal.
Yes, sir. And another update that we have, Carlos and Charlie's, Chris Holmes was over there. Remember when I talked about after it closed, I said, I really think that this area would open up tremendously if they just took the restaurant out, that it would look a lot better. Well, he now shows us what it looks like. They, in the last week or so, tore the entire restaurant out. And boy, does it look so much better, so much more open. And look at all that space.
I know, but it seems smaller than I would have thought. Like when you go into Carlos and Charles, it felt like a really big restaurant. And then you see this and you're like, oh, I would have thought does it seem smaller to you than versus when you were inside of the restaurant?
No, I mean, I've walked it a few times. I was just there a week and a half ago with all the walls when they had put up the construction walls completely blocking it out. So I kind of had paid a close attention to it. I do think that had I not done that recently, then maybe that would be the case. I don't know what's going on with the patio. They really need to put a great bar out there and really emphasize the outdoor sort of aspect of that.
I think that would be perfect. You put some slot machines in there and then have a really cool bar area to draw people out there, a tiki bar, something, do it really well. I mean, Excalibur did a great job, but this is an even better location for it. 1, it fits in with the Flamingo. 2, it's outdoors and you have that tropical vibe. They would knock it out of the park if they did that.
That space was made for a tiki bar. So let's do it, Flamingo. But yeah, lots of cool stuff going on there. The lobby is almost done. Just as a side note, after having filmed that a couple weeks ago, that lobby, I didn't think they could transform it as much as they did. They've done a great job. It looks tremendous.
I'm still surprised that Caesars is pouring like all their time and energy and money into Flamingo. It's not the one I would have thought that they would have focused on, but it's getting a lot of love and it looks great.
As a reminder, we have our Patreon. We do a weekly after show, lots of fun, more in depth on our trips, what we're doing in Vegas, other behind the scenes content as well. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all the information. Thanks to everybody in our Patreon community. So Caesars is pouring a lot of money all around town. Flamingo, we talked about. Omnia Day Club is opening up soon, and you're going to have somebody jump the fountains there. But what if you virtually could do that? We talked a few weeks ago about Evel Knievel, so many updates in this show, and we kind of wondered, like, what happened with the Evel Knievel Museum? Well, we now know it's going to open June 27th in the Arts District, they announced this week, and they're calling it the Evel Knievel Experience, and they're going to have, obviously, museum-type pieces, but the flagship experience, maybe, is a 4D virtual reality jump where visitors can sit on a motorcycle, wear a custom helmet, and experience a 16-car-long jump over, I guess, the fountains, but basically recreating his infamous jump.
Yeah, and the price, I believe, is $35 if I have it right. And they say it should take like an hour and a half to go through everything. And I think that 4D jump is probably worth half the price of admission. So if you think the rest of checking out all the cool artifacts and clothing and just the history of Evel Knievel and his tie-in to Vegas and everything that he brought to the city and kind of like the birthplace of stuntman and doing crazy things. And I think Arts District's the perfect location for it.
Well, Mark, I saw a picture. I mean, why are you making me be the skeptical one here? It's literally just somebody sitting on a motorcycle with an Oculus headset over their head. That sounds so much better than it looks.
I don't know. Maybe you get sound effects and all that stuff. It'll be cool. I mean, if you've never done anything like Oculus, it will still be a really fun experience for people.
Yeah, really cool. Glad that it's coming here to Vegas. Arts District just north of Charleston, a great addition to that area, and it's growing up more now than ever. So, very neat follow up there. Staying on the museum beat, the Mob Museum, one of our favorite museums in Las Vegas, announced that they finally bought the land next door. So, originally in 2022, they had announced this that they were looking to get the land just to the east of the Mob Museum, and they're going to do a 30,000 square foot expansion, more offices, more exhibit space, stuff like that. Still in the early planning phases for this expansion, but they have closed on that land, meaning that this is going to happen.
I mean, I hope a second bar too, because I know that's a cool aspect that you talked about when you were there. And I know that you spent a couple hours there in the original museum. So if they're adding this much more space, which I know some will be office space and everything, then you're going to have even more, probably like a half a day if you really take your time with it. And if the ticket price doesn't go up too much, I think that that will be a lot of value, and people love this museum. So just more of it and how successful it's been is really cool to see.
Yeah, it's a great museum, a wide range of different exhibits, and the speakeasy downstairs is fantastic. I did all the activities. We talked all about it on the show. They did invite me over there for a tour, so highly recommend this place if you're downtown. I don't think you could leave. The building itself is an art piece.
Yeah, I mean, my son was very excited about wanting to go check it out next time he visits. When we were walking around Fremont Street and everything, I think he got a peek at it and was like, "Oh, did you know there's a museum about mobsters? We need to go to that."
And you didn't take him. You were right there.
I mean, we did so much stuff in 2 days. There was nothing left.
Well, let's close with this. The summer of fireworks. In Primm, July 4th means closure of everything. But in Vegas, it means that America is 250 years old, and we will have fireworks from 9 strip properties on July 4th to celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States of America, but also throughout the rest of the summer. And this is really interesting because it's going to be every Saturday at different properties throughout the summer. Caesar's Palace, all the way downtown at Plaza. Hey, Plaza gets, they should get some kudos for this. They kind of invented this whole thing.
I mean, are they still going to do their normal ones too? Or is this kind of taking over what they normally do in the summer?
Plaza is still doing their fireworks June 5th through September 4th every Friday. They're also on this rotating schedule for Saturdays. We started the show showing how they're spending money giving away gas, right? In California, spending these marketing dollars, and this is another way that they're going to do it. Celebrate 250 years of Vegas, or go see the abandoned casinos in Primm.
This is kind of fun that they're doing it at different locations each time. So even if you're coming for several weekends during the summer, you're going to get like a little bit different view, vantage point, maybe a different show, all that stuff. So it's fun. And I know there's a lot of people out there that hate fireworks and are probably upset that this is going on all summer instead of just one night like it normally is. Hey, if you're down at Four Queens, like we were talking about, they have the best view from that window. Or if you're at Circa up at the Legacy Club, I think anything downtown, except for when Plaza, of course, is shooting off theirs. But I think that's kind of the most fun view, like stand back a bit and just see them popping off on the strip.
And one thing that's notable talking about downtown, because they are on this rotating thing, it's not just Plaza. On June 20th, Binion's Garage and Fremont Street Experience Garage, along with Plaza, will be launching fireworks. So that actually will be a unique show that Saturday where you're going to get 3 sets of places. And yeah, they're doing these kind of geographic areas of the strip. And then you're getting the full kind of New Year's Eve celebration on July 4th. I think this is a great, Plaza, like I said, give them credit for kind of starting the weekly fireworks in the summer. Maybe this becomes a yearly thing.
All right. So we did New Year's this year. Are you going to do the 4th of July now?
It's too hot. See the weather section above. It's not quite. I might go see it though. I mean, the cool thing about being from here is, yes, you can go see it down on the strip, but there's some really interesting viewpoints around the city. And whenever they do those 9 property displays, they're always pretty cool. I just wish that they would do different displays from different buildings.
Yeah, that's what it would be awesome if they kind of made it unique, and it would almost like Bellagio fountains, where it would like pop off over here. And I know it's going to be tied into like a radio station and songs and stuff like that. Like they could really make it like a symphony of fireworks if they wanted to. What do you think brings more people to Vegas? These fireworks shows, or giving some random people in California $100 gift cards?
Definitely the gift cards. Everybody needs some gas, man. Have you seen the prices of gas lately? So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. Totally awesome over at MGM Grand, the barcade. Do you think that's a cool setup with the free games? The Carlos and Charlie's. Oh my God, I cannot remember. The Primm for Trim, July 4th, the fireworks, everything going on over there. Leave a comment. We do 3 shows a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Mark and I will be back in a couple days with another show. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Third time's the charm. I just said that, so he has to put that outtake in there. Have a good week, everybody.
Beat me. Is this exciting? Is it going to get you to come me? All right.